I'm David Ainsworth, Head of Communications for the United Nations Secretariat of the Convention on Biological Diversity. Our Biodiversity Beat interview today at Substa 26 is with Marja Ruohonen Lehto, who is the chair of the Adhoc Technical Expert Group on Risk Assessment of the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety. Marja, hello.
Hello. Nice to be here.
Thanks
to see you.
Thanks to join us.
Nice to see you all.
So, we want to talk about the outcomes of this Ad Hoc Technical Expert Group on Risk Assessment, but more specifically, how do these things relate to the implementation of this new global biodiversity framework?
Well, there is a target 17 in that framework, which is already an achievement, because the earlier strategies didn't contain clear targets for both of the protocols. So that is the first thing that I would like to say. The second thing, how it links, is of course that it relates both to biotechnology and biosafety, which is the target, and the results that we are dealing with from the Adhoc clearly relate to both biotechnology and biosafety. The guidance that has been, or the voluntary additional guidance materials as it's called, relates to engineered gene drives, organisms containing engineered gene drives, and even more specifically to mosquitoes containing engineered gene drives. And of course the main outcome is the development of the risk assessment, and how we have now been able, through our work done by the Adhoc that worked very hard with excellent people, we have been able to improve or focus better how you do the risk assessment and risk management. So I think that's the relation to the target 17 and to the whole framework. But if you allow me to add, the guidance that has been produced is on risk assessment, but it's not necessarily only on LMOs. We are introducing a more focused way to do a risk assessment, and that can benefit any assessment of any technologies or any environmental stressors, because the approach that we've taken is a more focused one. It explains clearly what you want to protect, at what level, how you see what happens in the nature, how you measure these things, and that will benefit many other topics in the framework. That's my view.
That's interesting, because it does mean that this framework or these approaches to risk assessment can deal with conservation particularly and across the target areas. Okay,
yes.
That's really interesting.
Indeed.
Now, the next one that I want to ask you about is, and this is more general, is can you talk about some of the important tools and activities that exist to support biosafety related initiatives, programs?
Yeah. Of course, what I still want to highlight is that, of course, the target 17 is on biotechnology and biosafety. However, the Cartagena protocol is more on biosafety, and there are several tools. The most recent ones that I would like to mention are the implementation plan of the Cartagena protocol, and then the capacity building action plan that we agreed to in Montreal in 2022. Of course, in addition to that, we have guidance on how to do risk assessment now, more specifically this one that I just talked about, which is specifically on LMOs containing engineered gene drives, but we also have guidance on socio-economic issues, how to deal with those, and also how to deal with the identification and detection of living modified organisms. Let me also emphasize that all these guidances are voluntary nature, but we of course hope that they are all used. Then let me just one more thing that I could maybe say as a tool is the Biosafety Clearinghouse, which is a very important tool to share information and knowledge.
How can this work support overall the implementation of the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework?
Well, again, I want to go back to the guidance and the way how risk assessment can be carried out. Whatever stressor you would have in the environment, you could use the same approach that we have now used for LMOs. So from that angle, I think the biotechnology part is very important. Then we of course all know that biotechnology can give us solutions how to deal with our problems in the environment. Of course, keeping in mind that whenever you deal with a technology, there are always two sides. You have to look at possible adverse impacts and together with the benefits that you will get. So I think biotechnology in that way it's one of the technologies that we will have in hand. I think that's the first thing I would like to say. Biosafety, maybe again going back to that especially biosafety is what it really means is that you are supposed to look at what you are doing in the nature. You are supposed to be careful when you are doing things in the nature and in the environment, and I think that's one thing that should remind us all, even if we are dealing with other things than just more focused on the living modified organisms.
Well, thank you very much, Marja, for spending the time with us today. And it's really fascinating to see how these tools and approaches and guidance under the Cartagena Protocol have got relevance across the targets and goals of the framework. Thanks.
Thank you. Very happy to have
Good.
been here. Thank
Great.
you very much.